Well, hello, everyone. Hello, Bobby. How you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing, Ed?
Doing great. Hey, today we're going to be talking about the importance of making a fair and clean offers when buying property in today's world, because I think a lot of people are trying to lowball people. What do you
Oh yeah,
think?
That's why we discussed it a little bit last week, and I really want to kind of hammer home the point, just because what we're seeing in the market right now.
Right. And I understand it's a stressful and challenging process, but it's important to remember writing a lowball offer can actually hurt you, your chances, and actually the buyer's agent who's helping you.
Yeah, and obviously, as a buyer yourself, you're not really too concerned about your buyer's agent's reputation, right? But we have good memories in this business, and
I sure hope they care about their agent.
yeah,
I mean, I understand sometimes people just don't care about anything other than themselves, and you have those people, but you have a lot of people who want to work with you and work with you again. So I hope that they, understand that.
yeah, and even though we're not in as much of a cutthroat market as we were the last couple of years, it's still really important to be, I don't want to say chivalrous, but be polite, or
Hmm.
be kind when you're writing an offer, because unless you're a real estate investor, this is somebody's home and they've really loved it, and you don't want to pull off your glove and slap in the face when you send in your offer, right?
You don't?
Not, nope, we're not there yet.
Hey, I don't think we do. What's a definition of a low offer? That's when it's significantly below market value of the property, right?
Yeah, so I would say if you're coming in $5,000 below, that's not lowball, right?
Right.
I'm saying when you're coming in 60, 70,000, $80,000 below below list, right?
Right.
Now there's a lot of times, obviously agents need to do their due diligence before even showing or writing an offer on a property, right?
Hmm.
But a lot of times sellers have their house already aggressively priced, right? They're like, okay, I see there's been some changes in the market. I still want to attract buyers. And so there's been times when I, have people go 10% below what market value is to draw traffic, right? So if you're
You're
going
talking about when you list it,
to, when
right?
you're listing it,
Right.
yeah. Or say you do a price reduction, like an aggressive price reduction, right? And people see that as, oh, you know what? I don't qualify for this house. But let's go ahead and take a look at it, and let's write an offer. And that's, numero uno. Agents shouldn't even be wasting their time showing people something they can't afford to buy, right?
Right, and that's what's so important to stay within whatever the loan officer says that they can qualify for.
Yeah.
Right, that's what you should stay in, because we within reason. Sometimes you can go 5,000 over. Some of
Yeah.
us increase their interest rate so that they can do that, but you should work it out with your loan officer. Hey, what's the max I should really? And so don't show them anything more than 5% over that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, I mean, that right there is pennies compared to what I'm talking about,
No,
right?
I
So,
understand. I
yeah.
understand. We're talking 60, 70,000. What people don't realize when you write a low ball offer, the seller feels disrespected and undervalued.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because they are like, what? My house is only worth, I think they get, it says that, but I think they get pissed off, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's personal.
Especially if they just did a price reduction.
Yeah. And
Right.
I've had some, where uh, they want to come in low because they think we're going to haggle, right? Like this is a flea market. And I've had sellers do that too. Where like, oh well, I'm going to pad the price that way. When they talk me down, it's like, no, you put it at market value. People write you a garbage offer, you just throw it out.
Right. Because nobody wants to negotiate.
No,
Right. I mean, some people do, but on average, people, this is my price. This is what I want.
yeah,
And the problem is that what we talked about before, sellers are in last year's market and buyers are in the next year's market. Right.
yeah.
But I think that's what we've been saying. But if they really know next year's market's going to be crazier than ever, 2024 is going to be super crazy.
Like I say, they're in the market what they are hoping next year is, right?
Well, they're hoping it's lower. And I think the biggest problem is, and we talked about this on Tuesday, is what they hear. Right. There's so much negativity out there, and they're hearing, I've heard, we tell our clients to write an offer 15% under the value of that they have it listed for. It's like, okay, well, we're not in $100,000 properties, right? We're not in $200,000 properties. We're bigger than that. So you can't do that. And you're going to upset the seller. The key is, do your research, come up with what's a fair and reasonable offer, talk to your agent, work it out with them. And then your agent can, not technically, but sometimes can, find out some more information to see what it works. And and write the right offer so you can get accepted. Because if you write the right offer and they accept it, it's your property.
Well,
I mean, once you close on it.
And here's something to do too, right? Because sometimes people, there's a lot of intrinsic value in real estate, right? So people see something and they go, well, even though it's not, 30 years old, I don't like that, so I'm gonna have to redo it, right? If that's the case, don't beat up the sellers on that. Go to a different house. Look for a house that has those upgrades you're looking for.
Right. If you don't want to buy a home that might need some stuff, then go with a new one. But even the new ones, you're going to have issues. I've had issues. My wife bought a brand new home before I met her, and she told me all the issues she had with it. It wasn't you're going to have issues. It's just how it is. It's a house. It's like a new car. How many new cars become lemons, right? And then they have to get a different car.
Yeah, I guess I can't say make and model, but there's one out there that every mechanic will tell you to run away from.
Yeah, that's all. You talk to your professionals. Your professionals will know what's going on. And you know what? If you want a successful real estate transaction, just write a fair and clean offer. That's the best way to do it.
Well, and sometimes what it is it's it falls on the buyer's agent to justify to their buyer why they need to offer this price, right?
Right.
And so if it's a listing of mine, if a agent calls me and says, "Hey man, I'm having a hard time finding comps on this. Can you send them to me?" Absolutely. That's my job, right? And I'd be happy to share that all day long to show you how I came up with the value of the property. Because if somebody wants me to list something for 50,000 more, I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
Maybe we don't agree on $5,000 or $10,000. That's the difference, right? And I say, hey, let's go and list at your price in 2 weeks. Let's do a price reduction. Right. But we're going to put it on market at a fair value. So bring us a fair offer.
Right. You need to ask them, do you want this house to sell or do you want it to sit on the market? And then you're going to take a lot less than what I'm telling you your house is worth today, because it's been sitting. Then everybody goes, what's wrong with this house?
Yeah.
Right. If it falls out of escrow, that's like a kiss of death for some houses. It's like, why did it fall out? What's the problem? Yeah. And if there was because of inspections, well, the next person's going to know that because the inspections are going to be in the listing.
Yeah. Yeah. And agents, if something falls out of escrow, put it right there in the notes. That way we can all read it. That way
in the agent's notes, not in the.
Well, no, not the public notes. No.
Might as well.
Buyer lost job, couldn't perform.
Right. No, but just. And when you're doing your descriptions, make it right about the property. You know what I mean? Take your time.
Yeah.
Make them so people will come to you. But back to the offers, just like I said, work it out, talk to your agent, work with a professional so they can help you understand what's a good offer to write.
Yeah.
They do this day in and day out. You do not. But I know you're listening to your uncle or somebody else or aunt or some dad. I know how to buy property. The last time I bought property was 20 years ago.
Well, right. and I'll tell you, even right now in this current market, there's been people that have come in, especially cash buyers. For some reason, they think that their money is more valuable than a loan, right?
Well, they keep hearing what I am talking about.
Yeah.
So, that they think the market's going to fail.
Yeah. And so, sorry.
Go. My wife texts me and she tell me how much she loved me. I'm sorry. I cannot not miss that.
Hey, no, I appreciate that.
I normally don't do that, but I was like making sure there's no issue,
Yeah. Like wife text me?
Yeah. She doesn't normally text me all the time. So if she texts me, there might be an issue. There was an issue. She just wanted to tell me she loved me.
All right.
Sorry about that. Go back to your point. Sorry.
Oh man, I lost it.
Oh, I thought I was trying to have you say it was my fault. Now you just fell on the knife for yourself.
That's okay.
Most important thing is just work with your agent, understand what is a fair and reasonable offer, write the offer, get the house, get the closing costs, get those things. Don't worry about the price. Next year numbers are going to go up because we're going to have less houses to sell. We're going to have less. It's until they start building houses, a lot of houses we're not going to catch up, and it's going to take years.
So, now I remembered what I was going to say.
I know it took a little bit longer. They could come back.
Yeah. So trust your agent. There's a lot of times buyers will, and sellers, but mostly buyers, right? Especially like first time home buyers. They think they know everything because they've watched, international house hunters, right?
Right.
And they'll fight their agent on writing offers and negotiations, right? And the reality of it is when we think we're going to write an offer, we'll call the other agent and we'll kind of hash things out. And we'll be like, hey, you think this is going to work? Sure. I think this will work. I think that's fair.
Right.
And we try and work it out before we ever send an offer in. And the worst thing a buyer can do is think that they're going to try to do multiple counter offers and get everything, dialed in before they get an accepted contract. It's like, you're putting a risk at another buyer coming in, and honestly, you're just going to annoy each other, and nobody wants to continue with the transaction. Then. So,
and that's if you write a clean offer in the beginning, it'll get accepted. It's your place. If they counter you back, you're not. They can take another offer.
Yeah, and a lot of times, if you write a nice clean offer, normally they counter you back over something simple like terms like, hey, can we have 7 days after closing or something, right? It's not anything big, or you can't have the fridge.
Right. No lawnmower out of the garage. And we're going to tell you, get that off the contract.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's simple stuff. It's just write a clean offer. You're good if you want the house.
All right. So we take care of everything we talked about and talk about today. Write a clear and a fair, clean offer. Did we get it done?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think so. Yeah.
No low balls. Low balls bad for everybody. Just understand this market. It's a kinder, gentler market. Don't take advantage of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't do it. Just because it's kind doesn't mean you can take advantage of it. All right. Make it a great day.